Welcome, everyone, to a very special weekly stash. My name's Stephen McGauley. I'm the editor-in-chief of TMStash.com. With me, as always, is Ed Garrett and should be Joseph Gagel, but of course we lost him right as we started the podcast. But let me introduce you to a new friend and part of the TMStash family. Nick, how we doing?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Awesome. Glad that we could finally get you on here. You see Nick's name on the website, writing some bunch of the stuff on comics. He's got far more knowledge than me, unfortunately, on comic books, so he was a great asset to us and the podcast. So, but without further ado, let's Comic-Con 2014, San Diego. Amazing as always, even though it's become less of a comic book show as much as a movie and TV spectacle of sorts where we get all sorts of news about everything, since pretty much every movie now involves a comic. So let's see if we can get Joe back on and talk about the real important news, which is Guardians of the Galaxy is awesome. Which shouldn't be news to you, because I've been telling everyone for many months now that this movie is going to be effing awesome. So, I don't know why anybody would be surprised that all of the critics that got screeners last Wednesday are saying the same thing. They're saying it's one of the best movies of the summer. Have you guys heard anything different, Ed?
Not a word different. I may be a DC guy, but I'm looking forward to this one. It looks like it ought to be pretty awesome.
I heard.
What do you think? Are you amped up? You're kind of a Marvel guy too. You kind of bounce all over the place like me, but
I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. I'm familiar with the series. I think it's going to be great. I think that they casted it well, and it looks like everything looks pretty true to the books, what I've seen in the previews. But I think I heard a critic even went as far as to call it the best Marvel movie to date. So that's bold words and got me really excited for Friday.
Yeah, I mean, I've had friends that have seen it that haven't read the book, that have read the book, and they've all loved it. Now, they didn't get the little sizzle at the end for the screeners. Marvel is keeping that very close guarded, so we have no clue what the sizzle is at the end, but there are some rumblings that it's about a character that people aren't expecting to see. But we'll get back to Guardians, talk more Guardians when I can get Joe back on here, because I know he has a mouthful to say about Guardians. I know he's all geared up and amped up for it. But in other movie news coming out of Comic-Con, some of the more recent news in the last 24 hours, we had Quentin Tarantino confirm that we are getting Hateful Eight is officially going to become a movie. He has gotten off his high horse that he rightfully deserves to be on top of after being pissed off to having his script leaked and then doing a reading of the script with some amazing actors and actresses, and now confirmed that he's rewriting parts of the script and going forward with production. So none of you guys are as big a Tarantino fans as I, but what do you think of Tarantino now officially confirming he's going to do his Western? Nick?
I think this should be cool. I think we kind of saw a glimpse of what he can do with Django, so we've seen his World War II movies. We've seen nothing he does really is standard, so it should be pretty exciting.
Well, Quentin Tarantino isn't really what I would call a standard person by a long shot. He's kind of the opposite of standard.
But I think that's an understatement.
Awesome, and why I can't stop watching his crazy ass movies. You know, full of Uma Thurman's feet and swords and just utter debauchery of gore. You know, badass motherfuckers. Ed, what do you think?
I'm just looking forward to seeing it. Like I said, I'm not as big a Tarantino fan as you are, although I did love Pulp Fiction. But we'll see what comes out of this. It ought to be an interesting movie. I just not as big a fan as what you've been. I've got a couple of other movies I'm looking forward to as well, besides this one.
I'm very much looking forward to it. The only unfortunate part is that this is Tarantino, and since what I'm hearing is that he's going to start in 2015 with the filming, which means it'll be like 2025 before this movie comes out because his script is long as hell, and he will do 18 hours worth of legitimate footage and then release 8 hours of it as a movie. So, but nonetheless, it'll be 8 hours of awesomeness, more like 3.5. But I'm looking forward to it. Joe, we got you back. Congratulations.
Hey, my computer enjoys making my life miserable sometimes, and now is one of them.
Nope. Oh, he wants to be there. He's trying. At least we can just. Oh no. We can get some audio. You there, Joe?
I'm trying.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we don't have you yet.
Well, my computer likes to make my life miserable, and this is one of those moments.
Ah. Yeah, you are. Your audio's really low, but we can work with that a little bit. But we did. Why don't you drop off and drop back on, and we'll see if we can get you connected properly. And we'll come back to Guardians for you. But moving on. Sorry for the technical difficulties. But that is life. That is life with Google Hangouts. So, what other movie news do we have this week? That was the biggest thing for me.
We did get to see a release of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman for the upcoming Superman v Batman or Batman v Superman movie.
Yeah, we were having a conversation about that before the show, actually, via email. Because I was very impressed with Gal Gadot's her nice little screenshot they got of her.
I thought it was good too. I've seen some opinions both ways. I'm old enough that I was a big fan of the Wonder Woman TV show with Linda Carter, and for a whole generation, she is Wonder Woman and always will be, and I get that. But I wasn't looking for a Linda Carter clone. I was looking for someone who would look like she could hold her own in a fight, that she looked like the kind of Wonder Woman they're writing today, and it looked great to me. I thought she would be fantastic.
Nick, what did you think?
So I'm gonna be that guy.
You have an opinion on this?
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna be that guy. I was really excited for her. I've been backing Affleck. I was backing her. I was like, remember, everyone was giving him a hard time about Keaton, Mr. Mom.
The first mistake is you were backing Affleck as Batman.
So a lot of people complained about Mr. Mom being Batman, and he blew everyone away.
You're right.
I give benefit of the doubt, but I was worried, like everyone else, a little worried that she didn't quite fulfill the whole look of Wonder Woman everywhere. And it was fine. I was like, she's going to be great. And then I saw her in the outfit, and she seemed a little too skinny to me.
I think that's where most folks are complaining. That's where they're looking at it, is they're looking for the figure.
Are you saying that she's too hot to be Wonder
She'd
Woman?
be a good Lois Lane. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, it's like Henry Cavill doesn't really look like Superman to me. Although I think he does a good job in the role. If you want to have the look, honestly, a couple of pics I've seen of George Clooney as Batman really make me think of Dark Knight. And there's that one profile shot of him with that chin that's out there. It's like, dang, it's like Frank Miller would be just thrilled to death to see him. But I don't know that you can find someone who's got the exact look like a Linda Carter did who could pull off the role well. So I'm still willing to see what happens.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the link here. I'm going to post.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna toss the link in here. If anybody wants to view this, if you haven't seen it yet for whatever reason, you fell off a cliff or whatnot.
Did you see?
She looks impressive. I mean, it just looks awesome. She's gonna be a bad. It's gonna be a badass Wonder Woman.
Did you see the fan art they did?
I did not.
They took the release of the 3 releases that they have of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, and a fan. You can find this on Google Plus. I'll actually forward it to you guys. A fan turned it into a movie poster, a teaser poster with all 3 of them on the cover together.
Oh, cool.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be a perfect movie poster. I could see that.
Fans making real stuff cooler. Happens a lot.
Nice. Well, I almost forgot, like, probably the biggest, most impressive movie news to come out of Comic-Con. Did have me the most geeked up because I'm such a big Tarantino fan, but arguably everyone else would disagree with me and say what stole the show at Comic-Con was the Mad Max trailer. Did you guys get to see the Mad Max trailer?
No, I missed that.
It looked really good.
I have not.
It looked amazing.
I have it sent to me.
Bane as Ed Hardy as Mad Max, and it just looks fantastic. Absolutely awesome. If you haven't watched it, you gotta go. It's everywhere. It should be on TMStash.com. I'm not sure when we posted it. I'm trying to find it to no avail, but it is out there. It is so good. It's what everyone was really talking about, that it's still really the show for Comic-Con. But all I gotta say is watch it. It's all I can really say. It's Ed Hardy, and it's him in a desert in his Mad Max car, and it just looks badass. So that kind of surprised everyone. I don't think anyone was expecting to see that trailer, because I don't think it's definitely not coming out till the end of next year. Do we have a date on that? Anybody have that?
Not off the top of my head, but it did blow me away and gave me hope for the franchise.
Yeah, everything I've seen with Tom Hardy's pretty good so far. He's on top of it.
I really liked him in that movie. It might be called Warriors, where he fights his brother in a tournament. That was a surprisingly good movie.
That was really good. I thought it was going to be cheesy, but it was really good.
It is Bane. He will do anything.
I hope he doesn't.
May 15th.
I was going to say, I hope he leaves the accent at home.
Right. Hopefully Bane isn't Mad Max. But yeah, May 15th, 2015. So
it's my birthday.
It is. It's 3 minutes. So that was pretty surprising. But let's get back. Joe, I need what's your opinion on Guardians? I'm sorry we got to it. You dropped right as we started, and I couldn't drop the lead because Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be awesome. Look, he's got his poster. He's got his poster in the background there.
Well,
he's got his T-shirt ready. He's already showed he's got his Rock Raccoon T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm really surprised at how well the critics have received it, and we kind of talked about it last week, but I think they had a date in mind for the sequel, but I think they were waiting for either the release or the press's response, and I think they gave such a good response that they're that confident, so they decided to drop the sequel date for July 28th, 2017. And it will really help formulate, because Kevin Feige's talked since then about how their formula and format they want to use from here on out is every year they want to have a sequel and a new film. And so with that being in 2017, you can pretty much guess which of those other dates are going to be a sequel or maybe just a straight-up regular film like Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Black Panther, whoever else they decide to work in next. But I feel it shows a great response, and I haven't heard a bad thing about it, and it makes me wish that tomorrow was Friday. Today was Friday.
Right, no kidding. I've like I said before, I had friends that saw it that had no precursor to Guardians outside of me rambling on and on and on about it at work that saw it Wednesday. And they said it was really good, arguably could be one of the best movies of the summer, and he is a hardcore movie critic. So with that being said, that's very impressive to me to hear that from him and from other folks. And like you said, like the critics are saying this movie's good. And what that tells me most is that they very well balanced building up these character story arcs and giving these characters the identity that they are in the comic books, which was so important for this movie, because without that, this movie falls on its face. Because if you just kind of have like a lackluster, happy-go-lucky type Avengers movie, and you have no character development, and it's like, what the hell is this talking raccoon in this tree that just says, I am Groot, for 2 hours? So they must have the balance perfect, and like I said last week, we knew something was going on when they announced all these dates. We figured Guardians could have been one of them, and it must have been screening very well in their test screenings, especially for them to do they're doing 2 showings. They did a showing last Wednesday, there's a showing tomorrow for press. So for them to do 2 showings, making sure every piece of the press sees this movie before it comes out, means that they have a lot of confidence in it. So we know it's going to be good. It's just a matter of getting to Friday to get to see it. And Joe and I will be ranting and raving about it on Friday night, Saturday morning.
and you know, one of the things I expect is the elements that it's going to have is that Star Wars element, in the sense that they've created this world and they're just dropping you in the middle of it, and they're just giving you.
There was a review that says that it is Star Wars. It said it is like the release of Star Wars.
Well, and that poster even looks like a Star Wars style poster to me. You know, all the heroes in the middle and the villains on the side and the spaceships. I mean, I think it's going to carry that type of, in a good way, not as in like they're copying it, but just that feel.
I didn't read that really review. Somebody just sent me it in my email, and I read the headline, and that was the headline. It said something along the lines of Guardians release is like Star Wars coming out. And I kind of stopped there because I don't like to read reviews before I write one. I want to go in there with a blank slate. But just that being said by itself is kind of like, well, really? And I asked my friend who read it, Mark, and I was like, really? Does he back this up, or is this just a click magnet? And he said, no, it's completely valid. They compare it to a Star Wars like film, which that's a bold statement to say. But I guess it's easier after 1, 2, and 3 came out to make that statement. If you go off 4, 5, 6, it becomes just an asinine statement. After 1, 2, and 3 can kind of be real. So, yeah. So excited. I can't wait to see it. I'm pissed I didn't get a screener. But it's cool. All right. Moving on away from movies. TV was also huge at Comic-Con this year, as we got so much news. I mean, mostly coming from, well, a lot of it from CW. We got some more glimpses of Gotham, but the biggest news for me was finding out who the villain is this year in Arrow. And I'm not going to steal any thunder away from you, Ed, so Ed, take it away, sir.
Ra's al Ghul is going to be the big bad for this year. They are casting him, so they only showed the lower half of him because obviously they don't have a face to show, which is why I'm going to try to get an agent and see if I can. No, I'm just kidding. But this ought to be pretty awesome. I mean, they've been dropping hints about it. They've been talking about Nanda Parbat for a long time. They certainly dropped hints about the League of Assassins for a long time. So now this is just sort of bringing that to fruition, and really is going to be a pretty awesome deal. They're developing the DC universe out of Arrow, which is what they tried to studiously avoid doing a little bit for a lot of Smallville. Now they're really looking to develop that and develop more series out of that. So I'm thrilled to death with this. This will be cool. What do you think, guys?
Is Liam Neeson busy?
Oh,
Right.
if only.
Liam Neeson to do TV. I love it.
Now, I assume everyone's seen the trailer, yes?
Yes. A couple times. It was awesome. It was kind of weird because at the beginning I thought it was kind of recapping last year a little bit, and I was like, okay, what is this? And then just kind of jumps into the next season. You're like, oh, okay, wow, they went there.
Yeah. This was a big year really for DC's TV efforts showing up.
Yeah.
And we said before, I wish that they made movies as well as they made TV. Because you look at their TV, you look at their animation, it's fantastic. Their movies have been sort of so-so. Got a little bit of hope for Batman v Superman, although that really does look like a legal brief, the title, but hopefully the movie will be awesome.
I think they're. I mean, CW's got their act together. They've had it since Supernatural. They really didn't just develop the universe the way they should have. With the Arrow, they've brought everyone in and made this more of the DC universe and kind of harnessing what Marvel's been able to do just off of the jumpstart of Iron Man. And this is really DC's Iron Man, but it's coming from the TV side.
Yeah.
So they're doing a great job with that, and we've talked about it numerous times. They've nailed it with that TV show, and they're showing that they're going forward even more by bringing us the Flash. They gave us a glimpse, the preview to the Flash, which was awesome. That show looks like it's going to be that pilot. I think leaked on the internet.
Well,
if anybody wants to watch it, I think it's out there.
They showed the pilot at Comic-Con, and of course, we wouldn't take a look at a leaked pilot.
No, that's illegal, Ed.
The thing that amazes me the most is the amount of cast of characters they've actually been able to utilize. Familiar characters to even me, who I'm not that big and familiar with DC, but I know all these characters, and I've been very impressed with that roster they've been able to assemble.
Yeah, I think Ray Palmer shows up this fall, which is sort of neat to have him in there as the Atom. Like I said, great year for DC. That's not the only trailer, though. There was for Constantine, they've released a trailer. And,
yes.
And that looked good. I was worried because it's on NBC instead of CW, and I didn't know how NBC would treat this. But it looks like they've gone big budget with some of the special effects. It looks pretty cool.
You know what does scare me? Constantine looks good, but what does scare me is Gotham. I think Fox has... If anyone has the talent and skill to, pardon my French, fuck this up, it is Fox.
I did not think you were going that way with that.
Yeah, I thought you were going positive.
It is true, and I'm scared.
The movie trailer that they released for the TV show looked good. Now, whether that translates into a series or not, but the movie, what they called the movie trailer, did look neat, and they even showed a young Bruce Wayne testing himself with his hand over the candle. It looks good. It does look cinematic in its approach, but we'll see.
Here's my question. Is this sustainable without Batman?
Yeah.
Good question.
And I don't think they have the rights.
A lot's going to depend on Jim Gordon's character and how well he's written, how well he's acted, because if that doesn't come across in the rest of the show's pretty much going to fall apart.
I liked Ben McKenzie in, what was that cop show he was just on? I don't know, but he did a good job in it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't watch cop shows. But that would be interesting to see how it is. I know some of the latest trailers have kind of been wishy-washy outside of that grandiose cinematic trailer they've been showing off, which is nothing more than a trailer. There's no substance to what the actual show is yet, so it's really going to tell how they write it.
They seem to focus on the Penguin a lot, which doesn't really excite me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's... we'll have that's. I mean, with August, I think it's not that far away. A few weeks, we'll get a glimpse of it. So We'll just have to wait and see for the final verdict, and really it's going to be 3 episodes in before we really know what the fate is of that TV show. But looking at everything else, any other TV show news I missed you guys want to talk about? I think we covered the gamut of television.
That's the big stuff.
I'm sorry?
Well,
Joe, I thought you were saying something. I'm sorry.
oh, my bad.
Joe's computer's just freaking out on him. But moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Comic-Con is about comics, so why don't we talk about what's actually happening in comics with movies? How about that for a segue?
A character,
a movie comic. Joe's just doing his own podcast over there.
Do what?
Well, you're sort of fading in and out on us, Joe.
Am I?
Yeah. If we're talking comics, you know that this is, of course, the 75th anniversary of Batman. And, and they just finished 0 year. Scott Snyder, he took on a daunting task to take on year 0 or 0 year because, we still look back at Frank Miller's year 1. I think 20 years from now, people will be looking back at 0 year the same way they today look back at year 1. This was an awesome deal from start to finish. There were so many nods to the history of Batman, like him wearing the purple gloves like he did in the original stories way back when Batman first came about. He really made the Riddler into an A-list villain again. This was just an outstanding story.
I didn't get a chance to read it, so I'm going to take your word for it because he's.
Nick, you seem to have read it. Go for it.
I have not read the last issue, so I'm glad we don't do spoilers. I kind of hoard Snyder's stuff because I would have to say he's my favorite writer, and I like to kind of read all his stuff together. So I'm also far behind on Batman Eternal, but I think from what I have read, this has been a great story. It's been, like you said, a great throwback, and it's always fun to watch a character, especially a character as big as Batman, become Batman. And like you said, that is not an easy task, and that is a daring task for a writer to take on, and he's done it well.
Yeah, he really has.
And let's not.
I won't spoil the last issue for you then, but it ends well, and that's really something because a lot of long storylines, the next to the last chapter, the penultimate chapter really is great, and then the last chapter is sort of so-so. This one ends well, and I really like how he handled it.
Well, let's not skip over Capullo. His Batman is fantastic.
True.
He draws a great Batman.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And I have to tell you, I'm enjoying over at Detective with Manipul and Buccellato, what they're doing with it.
His art is fantastic.
Oh, man. Manipul sets like new standards for artwork. He really does. From page layout to the way he's doing Batman's cape even is a little bit unique for the way he's approaching it. There's so many little things they throw in.
Well, to tie this kind of to Comic-Con, I watched a live interview with Jim Lee, who's probably the best Batman artist in my opinion. He put a good point that these different artists can really. He likes that no one draws Batman the same, and Batman gets better and better with each artist because they do new things. We get short ears, long capes, lots of cool stuff.
Yep, that's right.
There's so many versions of Batman. So yeah, I'm the idiot breeder of Batman, and I can't just keep them all straight. Just a bunch of different looking Batmans.
I think Ed and I could do a whole new podcast on Batman.
There we go. We could work on that. There are definitely some Batman fans that would love to watch that. But moving on away from Batman, there's other movie comic news that we found out, and that's that we're getting a Fight Club comic. Yes.
I like that one too.
But this is this being a podcast. And the first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about Fight Club. Should we talk any more about Fight Club?
What's the second rule? I think the second rule is not talking about Fight Club.
No, the first rule is you can't talk about Fight Club.
And the second rule is you can't talk about
And
Fight
that's
Club.
the second rule too. And then you have to make soap.
And if it's your first night at Fight Club, we talk about Fight Club, right?
Right. But yes, it's going to be awesome. Nick, you had more information on it than I did.
Well, I can say I'm a big Chuck Palahniuk fan. It's more his early stuff, Survivor, Fight Club, Choke. And he's writing it. He wrote the books and he's writing the comics, so it's not just an adaptation. It's the real deal, so I'm pretty excited about this. I don't know what the story's going to be. The last we
No
saw,
idea what characters are going to use or anything.
So I imagine he's going to follow the book and not the movie, but I can't say that for positive. And they ended a little different.
Yeah, not a lot of news on this, but the fact that there is one is good news. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And I know Joe had some comics that he wanted to talk about.
I will give you one other one while we're waiting for Joe to come back, and it's going the opposite direction, and that's Valiant's Archer and Armstrong is in development for a movie.
Nice.
And, yeah. This one is, if you've not read Archer and Armstrong, it's one of my favorite books that's out there right now. Fred Van Lante's writing it. I love how they described it on Newsarama from the press release for the movie. It said it's an action-adventure buddy comedy colliding a drunk delinquent immortal who has given up on saving the world and the idealistic young man who needs him for a globe-trotting quest to stop history's oldest conspiracy from toppling modern civilization. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Archer is the one who was raised in an evangelical theme park all of his life, raised to believe that he was supposed to be an assassin to kill this horrible heathen immortal who turned out to be Armstrong, and then he finds out that his entire life has been a setup, and he and Armstrong go off together on some adventures. But it's got a lot of fun yucks in the middle of it, mixed with it's like an equal balance of comedy and action, and I just can't wait to see what this movie will turn out to be.
Oh, it'll be cool. I mean, it's kind of got similar aspects to Guardians. I mean, it's a little bit different premise, but like I said, it kind of mixes the action and the comedy, which is everyone thing we're hearing from Guardians works. So,
oh yeah.
So it looks like that'll be a great direction for them to go.
Oh, and we've got Joe again.
Joe, welcome back, buddy. What a night to have.
Don't leave us.
Comic-Con night, and you have to.
I know. My tower has a meeting with the baseball bat in the near future.
But what did you have in comic books this week with Marvel? I know you had some stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man #4. Finally, we get the original Sin tie-in where we get a lot more about the spider that bit the female girl that's been locked up for a long time. And not only that, but we find out exactly why she's been locked up, and it ties directly into the upcoming Spider-Verse. She knows that if she's released, that Morlun will sense that, and he will come after her and every other Spider-Man. Somehow she already knows this, but Parker says, "Oh, I've already killed him twice," and she's like, "Twice? You're an idiot." And so, but it was a really good issue. She made a makeshift costume with webbing. She seemed to have got her powers a little bit differently and a little more agile than Parker. And in the end, they kind of they're frustrated with each other, but then they embrace and a kiss at the end. So it was a really neat book and has a lot of potential and really kickstarted the Spider-Verse story, which should be very big this fall.
Cool.
I'm surprised they took Spider-Man in that direction, but it does put an interesting little twist on things for sure.
We've got a few upcoming books on the DC side. Let me try to hit a couple real quick. Justice League comes out with the New 52 debut of the Doom Patrol, which has only been hinted at so far in the New 52. Futures End #13, which is a series that, frankly, I had not been following closely. I'm going to grab this one because it's their first New 52 appearance of a new Secret Six, which I'm a huge Secret Six fan, so that would be pretty awesome to see. Then over at Image, I know, Nick, you're into Black Science, and Black Science #7 comes
Yeah,
out. And I'm a Chew fan, so Chew Warrior Chicken Pollo comes out, which is if you've not read Chew, it's hard to jump into this late in the game. But man, it's one of the strangest, most wonderful books out there. And then Armor Hunters Harbinger and X-Men at War coming out of Valiant.
Joe, you got anything coming up this week? Exciting?
Yeah, out of Original Sin, we got Avengers #33, the next chapter in Hulk versus Iron Man. New Uncanny X-Men #24, which is going to deal with more of the last will and testament of Charles Xavier, as well as a brand new look for Dazzler, as she has become kind of disgruntled, and she's not going to be the pretty blonde girl anymore. She's going to go to like a mohawk punk look now, it seems. We've also got Cyclops #3, Steven. You should be interested in that one.
What do we got?
Cyclops #3.
Oh, yeah.
The Uncanny Avengers #22, which has been a fantastic story, and this is going to be the final chapter of that story that should lead into Axis coming this fall as well. And the other two big kind of big ones, we kind of started the show with this, so we'll kind of end with it. The 100th anniversary of the Marvel books that take place in the year 2061 comes out with their last issue, which is a Guardians of the Galaxy issue. And there is a brand new Guardians of the Galaxy #17. That's 2, Steven, this week. 2.
So excited. I just picked up the last one. I'm kind of behind. I actually didn't get 16.
It's been a good story.
I just got 16 yesterday because I'd been out of town and haven't made it over to the comic book shop. So I'm excited. That means I get to read lots of Guardians this week. I'm going to read lots of Guardians, and I get to see the movie. I know everyone's excited as I am. Probably not, but they should be.
Oh, I might be more excited than you.
Yeah. Where's your shirt? Are you gonna wear the mask too? I mean, they might arrest you if you wear the mask.
I'll probably put the mask just on top of my head. There you go.
You should wear it and just try not to get arrested.
Just.
Yeah.
Wear the mask. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's gonna go over well.
Yeah, they're like he's got a bomb. It's a gas mask. What's he doing?
Awesome. Well, we know it's been long, but there's so much to cover with San Diego Comic-Con. As always, we had to cram it all into one show, so you can know everything that's happening with Comic-Con this week. So thank you all for watching. We will be back here this upcoming Sunday talking about Guardians. Joe and I, one of us or both of us, will have reviews up on the website come this weekend if you want to catch our opinion on the flick, but everyone should be seeing that Friday night or sometime this weekend. So thanks everybody. Have a great night. Keep reading the stash.